Hello everyone, welcome to the first game of the best of 5 show match here between, in red, Mammut and in yellow, Ralimurr. As you can see on the left hand side of the screen, all the spells are on, all the buildings are on, even there's a hill spell. So we're going to see hopefully some different strategies here, and I'm joined by, of course, the other popular caster of the community, Lovenji. How are you doing?
I think Popular might be pushing it, but thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be here.
Good. Hopefully we're going to see some action. Some interesting. So, of course, this map here, hills encase us. Bit of a spin on the whole hills divide us there, I think. But players have these big hills next to their base. I think I've played this once as well, and they have hills at the back of their base, and I'm presuming they're going to be fortifying on those hills. What we can see right now, both players are building towers.
Yep, so both players building towers, but typical sort of Mammut is sort of flexing a more defensive posture here. He's actually not built his towers out quite as far, whereas Ralimurr has made a massive land grab towards the middle, and if he can secure that mid, it's going to pay off for him because he has access to more trees, which means he can expand faster. Of course, we are playing Revival, as you've already pointed out. That means all spells are on, all buildings are on. The building space in each base is a little bit minimal, so you'll be seeing players expand, but the beautiful thing of that is, of course, it opens up something we've never had in Populous before. Build orders.
Yes, build orders indeed. Now, I mean, both players have the tower build order behind it down, but I mean, in terms of how robust can a build order in Populous really be?
So, to understand, and this is going to get a bit boring, sorry to anyone in the stream, but to understand how a build order in Populous works, you need to understand the two resources of Populous. Of course, the obvious one is trees, but the other one is your Braves, and everyone thinks about their population within a Populous game, but they don't think about it to this degree. When you've got all spells available to you, every Brave is a precious resource. You know, a Brave that's working generates 54 mana a second. So that's all mana that can be going into spells. So things like magically shielded warriors very early on, killing a handful of Braves, is actually a significant advantage. Similar to raiding the lumber early on in Age of Empires, for example.
Sorry, I took it out when Junior to eat some quiche.
Sorry, I could have kept going. I did not expect the quiche eating. So as you can see, Ralimurr's opted for a more standard spell that we're seeing first here. Earthquake is more expensive in Revival, so Tornado is a great way of starting to push back some of those defenses. Mammut's feeling a little bit more defensive. He's actually got a lightning spell in the chamber right now. He's prepared himself a lightning. And
also
so
lightning, if I'm correct, eventually lightning, it doesn't track the shaman in this mode.
So I'm not entirely sure, because there has been dabbling but with a no S-click script. That is a thing that we do have, and it has been used on maps before, and it was on this map at one point, but I'm not entirely sure whether that was removed after complaint.
I suppose we'll find out when Mamut goes to cast his lightning.
But after this match, I can also open up the official patch notes, and I can get us a more definitive answer.
And I'm sure Rally could tell us as well, because of course the yellow player Ralimurr is the creator of this mode.
Yes. So he created this with input from a number of individuals, being Key52, Jimmy Hunter, yourself, and myself. And this has been a constant work in progress, so this wasn't just a one-and-done project. It's been played, it's been updated, it's been played again, it's been updated again. The goal of Revival is really to try to find that sweet spot where we can play with the full breadth of the Populous game without feeling like one thing is particularly too oppressive.
Yeah, precisely. And last time I played it, I felt like it was in a good place, really. There was a couple of changes I wasn't aware of, and it made it difficult to play, such as the health on balloons is very low now, so it's very difficult to penetrate a base that's protected by fire warriors in balloons. Some of the biggest changes, I suppose we could mention, is that you cannot cast spells from either vehicle.
Yeah, you cannot cast spells from either vehicle within the revival mod. You can obviously still use it to transport your shaman, but what you'll find, the biggest, it feels weird to say meta because this isn't played as much, but the biggest meta for boats you'll see at the moment is invisible creatures. They're a great way of getting sort of something into the back of the base. We've got a tornado, retaliatory tornado from Mammut, as both shamans playing sort of quite patiently. Neither's really going for war quite yet. Both just building up their tribes. You can see that Mammut's opted for fire warriors and preachers, but no warriors as of yet. And Ralimurr's done the same, except he's snuck in a boat hut on the side by his hill. So we may be seeing some of those invisible preachers coming along soon. Another tornado from Mammut. All he has left now is a lightning, so he's going to back away with his low health. Sort of lick his wounds.
Yeah, very traditional Populous so far. People just playing for the land in the centre there, taking out the towers. Just to the side of this, we've obviously got a little stone head there on its own little island. I believe this is Firestorm with a fairly quick prey rate. So, Firestorm, if you can get it, it's going to come in handy.
Yeah, I mean, Ralimurr's done a great job. There's the magical shield onto some preachers, so we can see the first sort of attack going down. The lightning from Mammut does miss. The retaliatory blast from Ralimurr does connect. However, Mammut follows up with a good blast of his own. Ralimurr is low and forced to retreat there. Mammut doesn't quite find that blast, but he has got to deal with these preachers. Of course, magically shielded preachers. Preachers have the Iron Boots attribute, which means they're not pushed back by fire warriors, and they can run right up to these towers.
Yeah, and they got to get the Mammut opting to slap them to stop them is pretty much all she can do at the moment. There's a couple taking some Braves there, and the Fire Warrior. Mammut's going to take a time with the Fire Warrior, because like you said, the Fire Warriors don't even do damage, they don't push them. But as we say, Magical Shield also now only affects 4 people, is that correct?
Yes, so the number of followers affected by all buff spells, that's Invisibility, Magical Shield, and Bloodlust, is reduced to make those spells a little bit less oppressive when you think about the fact that they're all countered by much more expensive spells. Reducing the number of followers affected by that makes it harder to spread them out, and therefore makes it slightly easier to deal with.
Yes, and also you can't stack these buffs.
No, so putting on a new buff will replace the old buff, so no more ambushes of invisibly magically shielded warriors or magically shielded bloodlust warriors. And just warriors are a menace when you have the spells, the buffing spells.
Tones down their strength a bit, because when you see the magical shielded men just appear in your base out of nowhere, it's difficult to handle. But if you can see the magical shielded men coming, you can sort of deal with it, you can prepare for it. Or if the invisible men do rock up, at least they aren't invulnerable to your fire warriors or to your spells.
Exactly. So we have another tornado, both players opting for tornado, so they've clearly done their homework. They're both aware that Earthquake is significantly more expensive. What you'll find when players take this up for the first time is their go-to is to go towards Earthquake. Now, you can do that. You know, Earthquake is still a great spell, and it's still viable as a quote-unquote first damaging spell. But you can't just rush it. You can't just dismantle yourself up and get an Earthquake and start laying into your opponent. You have to take some steps to prepare for that. You have to expect that you're going to be weak to those magically shielded warriors or those invisible creatures, and you need to grab a couple of Hypnos as you build your tribe up and then transition into Earthquakes. You cannot just play with mana as soon as the game begins.
Yeah, and the unique thing about Populous is that essentially how it's normally played is everything's visible, so you can always see what your opponent's doing. So in this mode, because there are so many different strategies and so many different options that you can take, it's going to be important for players to be watching their opponent as much as possible. I don't know, Lovenji, if you personally have ever watched Age of Empires 1 competitive, like on the OG Age of Empires 1, but you can actually view the in-game statistics while the game's ongoing. So you see the professional players popping in and out to see how many resources their enemy's taking, etc, etc. So this is akin to that, but you can just do it freely all the time. You can see where they're going, maybe potentially what they might be charging just by the way they're playing. So again, I think if Revival can pick up, and we've got a shaman battle here. Oh, and Mammut takes it. I was going to mention that there's now a ranking system on Populous Reincarnated for the Revival. There is leagues. Very recent.
Yeah, there is a map league or a map pack league that would be able to determine who the best revival player out there may be. For those of you looking to get into it a little bit more and apply some competitivity.
Yeah, and obviously if it does get popular, the more maps could be created.
Yeah, so there is currently a sort of a plan to bring revival to some of the more popular maps, meaning you'll see probably Pressure Point. Oh, we've got preachers hiding inside huts.
Yeah,
very clever from Ralimurr here. Gotta be careful. He keeps trying to move that preacher. Oh, yeah, see,
Risky.
that's what you gotta be careful of.
Yeah. Base sizes? Very similar.
Yeah, base sizes are reasonably similar.
Mammoot's probably ahead there. Can you give us a population count?
I can. So Ralimurr is sitting at 60 population out of 82. And Mammoot is sitting at 75 out of 110.
So he's quite ahead there, and 15 population more with the capacity for more as well.
Yes, well, although Mammoot was slower to push out towards the middle, what he did do was make sure that every row he built was well fortified. So you can see his side of the middle strip, like where there's a shaman battle going on over there. Let's have a little look at what's going on.
Rally almost died there. He's managed to survive. His towers have got no one in, whereas the biggest difference is that Mammoot's towers are filled. Now, the boat hut was created by Rally, but I've not seen any boats yet. He's fortified at the back of his base. There's some invisible men now just appeared in Rally's back base, and warriors there. But again, they're not going to do much, I don't think, because they're getting blasted by fire warriors. And of course, preachers are there in defense.
So yeah, as I was sort of saying, Mammoot's taken his time to really fortify the middle position. All of his huts are fully built, and there's towers woven in between them, and some of them are even upgrading. And even that little sort of U-bend strip around the side, he's got huts down there already, whereas Rally doesn't. We do have a lightning from Ralimurr, taking out Mammoot, but now we have to see what Rally chooses to do with this. He's still not loading any offensive spells here. He's got tornadoes.
So he's got swarms, tornadoes. He hit a nice lightning against Mammoot there. He aimed it right in front of him, so it makes me think he would have to aim it. Maybe there's no direct clicking available. But like you were saying, Mammoot's defense and base is further out, so rather just needs to try and equalize the game a bit. But he's not got many spells, you say. What is Mammoot packing?
Mammoot's actually rocking more or less the same. He's got tornadoes. He'll have some of the auxiliary spells that this script isn't designed to check for. I would suspect more invisibilities, probably a magical shield. But 2 ghost armies and 2 tornadoes as well. We have the erode.
Yeah, he's eroded the hill. Now, erode has been buffed, but it's still not exactly... I think it's been buffed and the cost has been reduced, but it's not exactly phenomenal. As you can see, he didn't do a great amount there. It's lowered the hill, but it could just be raised again with 1 lamprage there.
Yeah, so the changes to erode were the brainchild that I can take most credit for. It's the thing I'm probably most proud of the revival changes. That and AOD not giving mana when it eats a shaman were these sort of 2 brainchilds. What erode does, what makes it different, for those of you who are interested, is it creates a valley effect and then erodes, which means there's always a slightly uneven land. Yeah, I can see a big attack coming up here.
Some magical shields, indeed.
There's those magical shields that we predicted he would have. Big push from the troops here. We need to see those hypnotizers.
What's he got? He's pushed forward. He's got...
Nice dodge, but these warriors, they've got magical shields. You can't just get into combat with them. There were some warriors hiding in huts, but the preacher's taking care of that very quickly.
Yeah, Ralimurr's towers are looking good, but they're not going to do much. Nice hypnotize there. The shaman's being lightened, though, by Mammoot. Now Mammoot's now on the real offensive here. He's got all these magical shielded followers. It's going to be difficult for Rally to defend here, with the shaman included.
So the only saving grace that Ralimurr has right now is that Mammoot does not have any big spells here. He only has his tornadoes, which he can certainly use and probably will. But otherwise, it's all these troops we need to be watching, seeing what they do. And it looks like Ralimurr kind of cleaned them up. The shaman is still trying to push in, but she's taking damage from those towers. Oh, the tower's not been shift-clicked onto the shaman, so she gets some extra spell casts off. Those are those tornadoes that we were talking about.
Yeah, a couple of the towers, but Riley's going to be happy with that. He's held the attack. He's lost some roofs and stuff, but he's really only lost those towers there. He has got a board out now, so we might see some shenanigans with that if possible, but players are preparing for this by putting towers around their bases. And there's a lot of trees on this level as well. Their bases have got tons of wood.
Yeah, I mean, whilst the wood management style of level can be fun once in a while, what the map pack creators really wanted was an entire breadth of feel. So different levels that give you different play styles, that give you different experiences across the board. So some of these maps do have an abundance of wood, some of them don't. Some of them can be really harsh on wood, and playing through this map pack from top to bottom will really test players' skills.
Oh, there's some unique, very unique maps as well, especially when it comes to the 3-player, the 6 players and the 8-player ones as well.
Yes, I think it's called Bad Moon or something. Very
Bad Moon.
nice.
That's a beautiful shot there from Rally. Holding his own. My fear for Rally is he just doesn't have the population that Mammoth does.
You say that. Rally's holding an earthquake right now. He's holding one of those spells that we were talking about. You work your way towards. He's weathered that storm.
I really like that he's going for the Firestorm as well now.
Yeah. So this is what I was sort of alluding to with my build order talks about. If you want to be a player that plays with mana, you can. But you've got to be mindful. You've got to have those hypnotizers. You've got to understand you're going to be taking a beating early on to get that mana. And it's all about how you use these spells that he's got.
Precisely, and I think these players know that, Lovenji, because they've sort of they've made the training of troops to be a high priority. I mean, look at Mahmoud. He's got tons training now because he knows how important it is to have trained followers defense. Because if you don't have any, you're gonna get destroyed.
When you have the, it looks direct, but Rally said nice shot, so maybe it wasn't. Yeah, well, this is the beautiful thing. Lots of people sort of hate on the unit of the Preacher. And I do agree that within the standard meta of Populous, the Preachers tend to have quite an effect on it that can make it quite dull. But when you have this full breadth of spells available, troops become a huge priority for both sides. Even if you're a mana player, you need troops. You need Preachers, you need Fire Warriors, you need Warriors, and Mammoth dying to a solo warrior there.
Just before it gets converted. His counter-attack here with a few Warriors is not going to do much there. Fire Warriors should be able to hold the run. Although they are getting pulled out and killed pretty easy there.
Yeah, Fire Warriors deal significantly increased damage to troops. What have we got? What are you pinging? Yeah, that is going to be complete soon. That will be a Firestorm in the pocket. Now, I'm just checking Mammoth's spells. He doesn't have any land bridges, so he's not planning like a last-second steal or anything. He's choosing to give that up.
I think it's too late now, and that Firestorm could be good. I mean, Firestorm I don't think it's had any changes, if I'm correct.
No, there were some changes to Firestorm that were then regressed, I think. It was looked at. I certainly remember that. And there you go, spell has been awarded. Lightnings do go down.
Oh, I thought he got the kill there, Rally, but he hasn't. 2 lightnings from red as well. Third lightning's missed as well. Really playing really defensive there. That's a lot of mana he could have used to charge other spells.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Mammoth's feeling a little bit afraid. You know, lots of his spells outside of the magical shields.
Oh, Blastrix City over here from Ralimurr are hanging on.
Someone's been playing with his own bots.
Yes, for anyone not aware, Ralimurr has created some vicious AI shamans that are, well, next to impossible to beat, to be honest. So there's still no boats have done much. There's one being created. We haven't seen any balloons yet, although I don't think we're at the right spot for balloons. And balloons don't really have much of a place when there's so many towers, but they could maybe help in the offensive attack.
Well, I'm surprised that Rally isn't considering the balloon, because there is a gap here in Mammoth's base where he could fly in, jump his shaman out, and drop his earthquake down very quickly. He'd probably die for it, but it would be a good opportunity. And
he could probably do it with his board as well, couldn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm surprised he's still trying to sort of beat his head on this front. Although I say that he is making great progress.
He is. It might be worthwhile to slap him down the earthquake at some point, but he's done a good job so far. It's the balance between, is it worthwhile casting all these different spells and getting all the troops in that have been trained and they die in the odd tornado when you could just earthquake it all for the cost of just over, what is it, just over 2,000 if you divide it by 100? Because it was increased, the earthquake spell, wasn't it?
It's closer to what Erode's cost was, so I think it's closer to 3,000 than it is 2,000. Or is Erode 200? Erode 2,100?
Yeah, Erode was 2,150.
Erode was 2,150, so Earthquake I think is 2,300 or something like that. It was slightly more than what Erode was.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few missed lightnings. Another one's missed as well. Like I say, all these Mana the Tinder lightnings could have been put elsewhere, but it looks like Rally's going to get his second Firestorm, which if he does kill Mammoth Shaman, could be absolutely pivotal in getting into his base and casting those Earthquakes, if he's got more than one now.
Nice blast tricks going down here from the Shamans.
Oh, again, Rally is on fire. I don't know what his kill-death ratio is, but he's looking to me like he's maybe killed twice as many as Mammoth's killed him. Mammoth just sending his troops in when there's a Shaman there. Not good. There's some Fire Warriors in the huts there going to destroy, well, kill creatures. And Rally's died to those exact Fire Warriors.
So those Fire Warriors in huts are doing work.
Very powerful combination, Fire Warriors and huts. And Mammoth's got some creatures that he's bringing back. He must have had them on the side there, looking to sneak around. The second Firestorm is in now. And if he could get this in when all these troops are here, he could do an absolute massacre, but of course he's not here right now.
This is where he needs to be thinking about the boat.
He
needs to be thinking about the boat or the balloon. You know, he could even play it super sneaky. I mean, there's a preacher in this tower. Sorry, the ping misplaced. This tower. So he could even just land here. There's plenty of locations, but we've got a huge army incursion coming in from Mammoth. Not laying down. You can see that Mammoth has effectively abandoned the Shaman in terms of how he wants to win this game. He's going heavy on the army and he's making sure he's got an arsenal of support spells, magical shields, invisibilities, swarms, and lightnings. He wants to watch his warriors win this game.
And we should mention, even though Riley's got two Firestorms, magical shield will protect those followers from the Firestorm. Shaman's now close proximity, and lightning from Mammoth has missed. Likewise against Mammoth from Rally.
Big amount of warriors getting preached to by the side.
Creatures there coming now to try and help, perhaps. Oh, Rally Shaman stood still, and Mammoth takes advantage of that.
Now it's very important for Mammoth to be showing off his troop controlling skills here now. It's good that you're playing with troops, but troops are only as good as their controller. Gotta be making sure those preachers are splitting themselves up evenly. You don't want every single preacher preaching two warriors, because then when you need a preacher, he's gonna get killed. So you need to make sure, like Mammoth's doing, you got a couple of preachers held back. You catch yellow preachers preaching, you send those in to interrupt. Warriors are going to be doing your structure damage. Stolen Fire Warriors are going to help against those preachers. And you can see that Rally's basically lost his front base. Mammoth does go down to the tower there.
Stood still though. I mean, there's just so much going on now. Players are not used to this. Let's be honest. There's so many troops to manage. You got your Shaman to manage. There's the spells the troops are going. But now look, it's that time that you've been talking about. He's abandoned the front. He thinks his troops have enough to push whatever's remaining from Mammoth, and I think
gotta be careful. That tower range will surprise you. Good. He's just about skirted around the edge of that.
I am concerned about the towers, the huts rather, that are potentially filled. Maybe he has some ghosts he can cast when he gets out the boat, but here we go. Oh, there's nothing in them. It's a prime opportunity. There's the Firestorm. There's the Earthquake. Missed lightning again by Mammoth. Has he got another Earthquake? No, he's got another Firestorm. Perfect. He's going to take out the towers. Might well use it. He got it for free. And look, he's almost got another Firestorm. Mammoth in all that chaos didn't take out the Worshipping Braves, and his Shaman's died again.
Yeah, so Mammoth left a gap in his defenses. Those huts did not have fire warriors in them, but neither was the guard towers built. There could have been some extra guard towers covering that corner. And it just shows, just like in Age of Empires, if you don't wall properly. Oh, we got a use of the hill there.
And it didn't work!
No, it doesn't work if the ground is
He's
that
got
high.
another firestorm, though. He can firestorm this here where the troops are, and he's laughing. All he has to do is follow up with his own troops. He's not going to do it, though.
Oh, good Hypno. Going to take some of those fire warriors away, force them to be killed. Oh, almost gets a core cam with them. That would have been very funny.
Yeah, Mammoth's going to be hurting now. He's got his troops at the front, pulling them back.
Yeah, so after that attack, the population is 74 out of 86 to Ralimurr's 107 out of 112.
So he's not massively behind, but when you look at the bases, you can tell, obviously, it's in Rally's favour. But damage-wise, if you look at Mammoth's base, not humongous. He's still got his fire hut that he can rebuild. He's still got his temple. He's still got his warrior hut.
No, and the thing is, especially for a player like Mammoth who plays chess and so is actually more used to the strategic elements of games, he's going to be mindful of that. You know, it's a fool me once, shame on you sort of thing. He's not going to fall for that again. He's going to make sure that this coast is protected. So Rally needs to capitalize on the damage he's done because he might not find another easy window like that again.
Well, from Rally's perspective, it's probably wise now to push that front heavy. Take over as much as the middle as possible, because with a few land bridges around this middle, you've got loads of land to work with, and another great lightning by Rally. He's done really well with his lightnings this game.
That lightning could be huge. The magical shield going down onto the warriors, allowing them to get in deep on these towers. They are going to get into some fights with some braves, but that won't be enough to stop them.
He's magical shielded some more preachers now. Swarming the towers.
So you can certainly see the prevalence of magical shield here, which is come as a surprise to nobody.
Oh, we've only seen one earthquake. We've seen a hill, which was useless. But he's done it, and again he's just getting another firestorm very shortly. He's already got one in the chamber, hasn't he?
Yep. So I like this from Rally. He's established that Mammoth was hiding his warriors. Well, Mammoth was hiding his warriors in the huts, and he's actually sent those preachers around to pick them up. These huts on the side was where Mammoth was hiding his warriors, and the preachers are now capitalizing on that.
Lightning almost taking out Mammoth's shaman, but here's the firestorm, the third firestorm that he's gotten for free from the stone head. Which again,
not the best use of it, but hey, it's free.
It's got the fire warriors, hasn't it? Taking out a hut. Should hopefully take out the fire warrior hut, maybe? At least to a last lay. He's going on the side now, though. The fire warriors and towers can't hit him. He's lightning that one. The Brave's coming in. Mammoth Shaman's nowhere. It's been hit by the fire warrior blast, so he's running away scared. Tornado on the preacher hut. Very nice. And he's called the GG. Mammoth has surrendered first game. It's gone to Rally.
There's the surrender. Ralimurr takes game number 1. Very impressive.
It was indeed, and that was the first match of Revival. And I didn't mention, but the players are playing for a little nominal fee here. £15 to the winner, £5 to the runner-up. Well played there, Rally. So we'll go into game number 2.